So much that is going on around the country this morning. Thank you for still being with us right here at Look Up TV. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. So much that is going on. I mean, if you're from the ISHO speed side, you know exactly what went down and still going on in the country. Apparently it's in Ethiopia this morning, isn't it? We're going to look at, yesterday, sorry. We're going to look at that comparison with what transpired in the country. But of importance this morning is that there's a member of parliament for Kiharu, Didi Nyoro, who's slashed school fee to just 500 shillings a term. For parents, a lot of conversations that have gone in that side. We're going to look at exactly what you're talking about this morning. But of importance is what is going on in ODM. What we do know is that the fears that we were talking about yesterday here on the Morning Drift have been confirmed then. Now, what we do know is some members of ODM have come out to declare that indeed there are preferred conversations between ODM and UDA. That 5-point agenda that we're looking at yesterday, especially on bullet 3 and 5, that ODM made a communique about after their CMC meeting in Kilifi County the day before yesterday, has been confirmed. Because now it is clear that ODM has communicated that any other person who's not in support of ODM getting into a coalition with UDA in 2027 should step out of the party. It is indeed true that what they prefer as ODM is to go into talks with UDA so that they can talk about their chances for 2027. So as it stands, it's a coalition government. The Secretary General, Edwin Sifuna, has been clear on where his stance is on this particular matter. He's already said that if the party supports Ruto for 2027, he's going to walk out. In fact, in his earlier communique, according to him, there is nothing like the broad-based government because the 10-point agenda that was supposed to follow that handshake between Ruto and between President Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga has not been implemented. So according to him, it is dead and done. So the question that we're asking this morning is simple and clear. It now looks as if there are those who are speaking the truth and those who are daring to be touched or to be proven otherwise. So this morning, the question is truth or dare? Truth. What the likes of Atandi, Joho, and even the likes of Simba right here speaking that we have to speak and be all from the government in 2027. So collusion is a possibility. There, the likes of Sifuna who are saying, you dare come for me. The likes of Oburu Odinga who are daring party members were challenging his appointment, saying, let's go for that NDC, and then I'll prove to you that I'm the rightful party leader as it stands. There, some members of parliament who are now calling for the expulsion of the likes of Sifuna and the likes of Babu Wino, who are against the broad-based government conversation. Let me begin then with apologies this morning. We were supposed to be joined with Abran Nabeswa. He's actually spoken to me a couple of minutes before coming on air this morning. An emergency has come out with work, and he promises he'll be with us tomorrow. But that notwithstanding, we still do have Owen Obongo this morning. How are you doing, sir?
How are you?
Fantastic. I can't complain. Let's begin with what we are calling it this morning. It's a truth and dare. It looks as if there are those members of parliament within ODM or party members within ODM who are saying the truth as it stands is that we have to go into a coalition government in 2027. But most importantly, with UDA. There are those who are daring members of parliament within our party not to go into a coalition conversation with UDA. I asked this question yesterday. There's some gentlemen who were sitting right there where you're sitting, that the best scenario would have been ODM to form its party basis, ODM to chart its way into 2027, have a presidential candidate, have a manifesto, have MCAs ready, members of parliament ready, governors ready, and senators ready to go into the 2027 general election, so that UDA, should they feel so, come to the table to negotiate for ODM. But as it stands, it's ODM, after that CMC meeting in Kilifi County yesterday, that is pushing for a negotiation with UDA. What is the best case scenario? Owen.
For me,
I would like to agree with the ODM leaders that are pragmatic to the idea of going into talks with the government of the day,
Yes,
to be able to draft something that might be of benefit to them. I'm saying this because the party as it is, it's at a crossroad, and the idea of them just picking a presidential candidate haphazardly might not be quite impactful and might serve as a discouraging factor within the members itself. In the agreement that they are going to push for, does not also buy it from presenting members to vie in various positions, that
Yes.
is MCA, governor, or whichever position that they would wish to go for.
Yes.
And that is where the negotiations come in, because you've had even the opposition side, it's like they are zoning that my party is strong in this particular area. Most likely, the other candidates support mine. So in whatever talks they will have, I think they'll also be zoning out areas where they feel they are strong, and they'll be able to field candidates.
yes. But here's what is on the ground. And this is what the likes of Sifuna, the likes of Bobo Wino, the likes of James Orengo are saying. We understand that the agreement that was signed with one Raila Amolo Odinga and President Dr. William Ruto was only up to 2027. And in fact, you and I do know the famous comments of one Raila Amolo Odinga just before his demise. He asked party members, who tells you that ODM want to have its presidential candidate in 2027? Who tells you that? He actually told them, these conversations you're having here about what is the life of ODM into 2027 and post-2027, nobody knows about them, so don't talk about them. When that time comes, we will talk about it. And that's what the likes of Edwin Sifuna have been saying, that why is it that every other person in the party, Owen, agrees that that deal was to take them all the way to 2027 and nothing beyond 2027. And now the entire conversation within the party is that we need to get into a coalition agreement with UDA beyond 2027.
It is about survival. The party is looking on ways it will survive
Yes.
post the 2027 election.
Yes. Why does ODM want to survive? They've never survived.
You see,
Yes.
for the longest, they've been having a strong party leader who is now the late. And there is a magnet that he did pull that attracted or gave the party strength.
Yes.
Now that he's not there, there is a void. And that's why there is that internal debate among members of the party, with some faction also going for young leaders. Others are proposing that the more experienced one should take the mantle. There's also a debate on whether to stay in opposition outfit or to join. So the various factions is just as a result of losing a prominent figurehead that used to join them together. So
yes.
They are just trying to find a balance within the chaos that they are in currently.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's look at what the likes of Sifuna are tabling. And they're saying that they're a bit worried that the 10-point agenda that also followed that agreement that Dr. President William Ruto had with Raila Amolo Odinga hasn't been honored as it stands by now. We looked at it yesterday, Owen, and we did realize that the only thing that you might say would sort of, quell any worries that ODM might have is that inclusivity in leadership. We've seen a couple of appointments that touch on both sides of government that have gone in even from ODM side. But the rest of them, stopping abductions, the right to assembly, integrity in leadership, is saying that that has not been honored as it stands by now. That NATCO report, that is also an agenda in non-agreement, has not been implemented. So he's asking the rest of the members, why are you comfortable when in reality, the same thing that makes the broad-based government has not been fulfilled?
Yeah, Sefuna is asking the right questions because it's also Baba who said that he's the one who drafted the 10-point agenda that they had signed to formally bring to light what we have as broad-based government. So in that, he's right to put the right pressure so that the members within the party should not slumber and turn into sycophants, but should be vigilant, because there's also a possibility that if they take things easy, they could be swallowed up whole, and the party as ODM as we know it will cease to exist. So he's just doing the right thing by asking the right question and challenging the authority of the day to honor whatever they had agreed that they'll be able to do with the late party leader Raila to safeguard the interest of Kenyans, the very things that you've mentioned, like abduction, that has affected many youths who were very active in the political space, but it was used as a tool to silence them, which is not right for a healthy democratic space.
That's it.
Yes.
The other factors are now coming out from this particular push from members of ODM. This morning, let me begin with this statement from George Alado, who's a member of parliament within ODM. And he says, ODM has officially started negotiations with UDA for a coalition government in 2027. They say they're unrelenting about this push. They're going to pick it as a party, and any party member who doesn't support this negotiation should walk out. Do you support?
I don't support the bullish behavior of the honorable member Aladwa, because there's a democratic in the name ODM, and in a democratic space, there should be alternative voices. So if they are going to say that whatever we arise with, this is the way, and alternative opinion by other party members should be thrown out, it's a wrong move. I think that is, it will look like they are out to sell the party in the name of just negotiating. It isn't right.
Yes.
Yes.
But as it stands, Owen, is that not what it is? Because when you say we are going to negotiate with UDA, of course, at the point that you're coming to knock on my door, you are taking a lesser position. I am the one hosting you. So you can't come and demand my entire house, Owen. Can you? Because as it stands, right here in the morning, we do know then that come 2027, because ODM is going to negotiate with UDA, we do not expect that ODM is going to have a presidential candidate. You can't negotiate with a presidential candidate, ODM. You can't go and tell UDA, Ruto is not going to run. We're going to give you a candidate.
But you had during the New Year wishes, where the party leader for ODM currently, Dr. Buru, said that him being the party leader is also the likely face as the presidential candidate for ODM. So we cannot just say that they'll go to negotiate without a face. They already have a face.
Yes.
So it is just the details that they're going to discuss and agree with is what we are not privy to, at the moment.
Yes.
But saying that they lack a presidential candidate, yet we've had those who have shown interest, including even the young political heavyweights within the party who want to take over the party and also vie for the presidency. So ODM is not short of presidential candidates.
But regardless of what you call it, Owen, regardless of the interpretation that you may want to give it, but we do know that if you're coming to my house to negotiate, you're not coming for the top seat, Owen. Are you going to sit here and say, well, they might go in and say, well, Edwin Sifuna is going to be the presidential candidate in this coalition negotiation? It's not going to happen because they're the ones who've gone to ask for a negotiation. And that's where the likes of Sifuna are coming from. They're like, why can't they approach us for negotiation? Because we got what it takes to have a presidential candidate. If Obuwo Oginga Odinga feels like I can't be the presidential candidate, why can't we front that as our candidate and go to the elections so UDA can come and negotiate with us?
What they are looking at currently is having a formalized agreement with them, because what we have, the name broad-based, is just by name. But in terms of a formal agreement on how they're supposed to run things, it is lacking. So that is what they are going for.
Yes.
For 2027, it is still, what I would say, it is still wide. We cannot conclusively say that it is UDA and ODM versus other coalitions. We might find also other parties also defecting, and they will also need to negotiate. But it is a starting point for now, for what is to come in 2027.
That's it. Do you find it a bit worrying then that ODM will call for CMC in Mombasa, Kilifi County, and then the Secretary General misses out, just sends in apologies and says, I'm sorry for missing this out. Due to unavoidable circumstances, I couldn't avail myself for that CMC meeting in Kilifi. What we do understand, that committee is comprised of 14 members, and the SG of the party is the one who's supposed to communicate the direction that the party is heading. So once they sat in Kilifi County, had the SG come in and communicated the party direction, then every other person within the party could have listened, would have known that this is the direction that the party is heading toward. Are you concerned that Edwin Sifuna missed that CMC meeting in Kilifi County? And if so, what does that communicate?
It's, I would say it's kind of a political PR blunder for the party, because there was a good intent to show solidarity and the unification of the party to be able to project the image that they are one. But ironically, that wasn't possible because the SG missed, and equally the deputy party leader of Feuds also missed. So in that, it is in as much as they had given explanation saying that Sifuna, the SG, had missed his flight, and the deputy party leader of Feuds was abroad for some official functions, still does not convince all the members. And we've also seen a scenario whereby also other members convening their own meetings aside, and also other members speaking strongly against the members who largely conducted the Central Committee meeting that they did have.
Yes.
So symbolically, it isn't a good show on the side of ODM.
Pretty much. That the couple of events that led to the CMC, I think towards the late last week and early last week as well, there were calls to ouster Sifuna from the party. Sifuna comes in and says, I dare you to try and touch me as the Secretary General for this party. In fact, he eked a lot of members of parliament within that party who wanted him out. we did see the senator for Migori, Wanokech, come up with a motion and petition the party to start disciplinary proceedings against one Edwin Sifuna. But then immediately that was withdrawn. After that, the Board of Trustees led by Ida Odinga of ODM sat down, and we do not know what they were talking about, but you could see what they were stopping is implosion within the party. I mean, it was quite clear. There's no need or there's no reason for the Board of Trustees to sit unannounced to talk about party affairs because of the heat that was within the party. Good. That pushed to the side. Immediately after the Board of Trustees seat, the CMC is called to Kilifi County. And then after that, they come up with two very contradicting bullets from that meeting. And I'll tell you what it is, and you'll help us interpret. So ODM, in bullet number 3, in that communique, they come in and say that we've asked the party organs to start proceedings and preparations for the elections in 2027. And then they say that ODM is just not going to participate in the election. They are going to contest for the seats in the election, all the way from presidency to MCA. That's bullet number 3. Bullet number 5 comes in Owen, where they're saying, however, we as a party have agreed that we're going to start our 2027 post-election negotiations starting with UDA. Why would you say that you're running for an election and you're just going to participate, you're going to contest in all the seats in bullet number 3, then bullet number 5 comes in and says, however, we're going to start our negotiations with other parties, but you say starting with UDA. UDA is the ruling party, as we understand. Why would you negotiate with the ruling party if you're going to contest for the 2027 general elections? UDA's plans are clear, Owen. Everybody knows that they're going to run. The two-term movement means that, one, Dr. President William Ruto is contesting for the second term. So when you say we're going to negotiate with them, aren't you taking a lesser position? Why couldn't you come out and say ODM has got no interest in the 2027 elections? All we want is positions in government. That would have been easier. We wouldn't have seen a very long document that is contradicting itself.
In my view, I see whatever they're trying to do is but lobbying for more positions, because the likelihood of them going to negotiations with UDA and UDA agreeing to shelve their own presidential candidate for ODM is 0. So what other better alternative is there to talk about? Positions. Because also for them, even for UDA to survive in 2027, it needs formidable partners.
It does.
As you see, there was a little shake-up of the Kenya Kwanza government when youths came into the streets, and it took the sacrifice of ODM as a party to at least get to steady the ship for the government currently. And you see, presently, they can even go do their meetings even in the mountain. You've seen them at Rumuruti, Nyeri. So things aren't badly off for the government today, as it were, in the infamous year 2024. So what they will have is a discussion of, okay, you already have a formidable candidate who is the president currently, and in our discussions, in as much as we would wish to present a presidential candidate, you might have the upper hand over us. So what is the best alternative to us giving a hand come to election 2027? It will be positions, maybe more CSs, more PSs, and looking to have members of both parties get to have a stake in the government that will come after the 2027 election.
That's it. Is that the problem for the party then, Owen? Because Edwin Sifuna says that why you guys pretending like you didn't know what the party plan was? Why are you pretending that this party wanted to go into negotiations instead of its coming up with its own political agenda for 2027, just like our former party leader had said? Is that what the problem is? That whether we like it or not, Edwin Sifuna might be speaking the truth. That in reality, the guys who are pushing for this agenda are the guys now who find themselves in government. That the true members of ODM might not agree to this project of being told we are going into a negotiation. Is that what it is, Owen?
To some extent, whatever the SG is saying could hold some truth. But also, if I check the recent spat where he even threw some words at Junet,
yes,
goes to show a deeper, there's something deeper going on. And he might also be conflicted because to me, I view that what is happening currently could stem from two sources. One, the sources that, one source is the group that drives benefit from government. That is the position, because you've seen them going to functions and they keep preaching the two-term gospel.
Yes.
That is the appointed ODM members within the government. And we have also those that they are serving in capacities that they were elected in and have not necessarily gotten the chance or been given that opportunity to also draw benefits from the government. And they could be receiving it from outside sources. And that is why you've had even the name of the former president being mentioned.
That's it.
With finally having also some elected leaders going to the defense of the former president. So it goes to show that everybody is trying to defend where they will most likely get their benefits. And that, for me, will also, I will have to also put question mark on Sifuna, because in as much as he might be wishing for some good for the party, but he's also not coming with clean hands. So that is my view.
That's it. Guess what? I'll be giving you this comment and we're going to step into a break and then come back. This is Amos. Amos, good morning, sir. How are you doing? Thank you very much for watching us this morning. He's saying there is already a line that has been drawn in ODM. You can see Edwin Sifuna, Babu Wino, James Orengo, and Yang Nyong. They are on one side. Even Simbarati might not be speaking it, but you can tell he supports Edwin Sifuna. And then there is the rest of them, Opio Wandai, the likes of Atandi, the likes of Joho, were already in government. And then he says, what's going to happen is the split that nobody is talking about. And it's coming soon enough. Once we come back right here, we're still looking into this particular issue. Once we come back right here, then I'll be putting it on. Are we looking at an impending split in ODM? And if it's coming, when is it coming? Is it already there? Is there something that ODM can do to salvage its current position? Talk to us at Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. The hashtag is The Morning Drift. Good morning.
taarifa zinapochipuka na kutufikia papa hapa kwenye makao makuu ya chumba cha habari cha runinga ya Look Up, kwenye taifa, kwenye serikali, kwenye bunge, tunajitosa hadi kwenye sauti ya wenyeji ili kupata tu maoni ya wenyeji kuhusu masuala haya yanayochipuka.
Maana hii kitu inaenda kuumiza Mkenya kwa tax.
Hakuna kitu tunafurahia. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sisi tunaumia, si ati tunaumia ile ya kiukweli. Juu maisha ni ngumu.
Na bila shaka tunapata maoni yao ili sauti yao ipate kusikika. Na watasema hili, waseme lile, watasema hili na waseme kile, almuradi sauti yao ipate taa.
Mambo ya mafuta tena imekuwa ni changamoto zaidi kwa kila mtu wa bodaboda.
Uchumi ikikuwa stable, tunaamini mambo itakuwa sawa sawa.
Kwanza liko na ria wase wa boda, mama mboga nini. Hawa sasa ndio wamefinywa zaidi man.
Mpenzi mtazamaji, hii ni bunge la wenyeji.
I recall the doctor telling me that day, he said, "Sarah, I'm sorry about what happened to you, but you see, life happens. You would have to learn to work with your hands, depend on your hands more."
And today, if you're going through anything that you do not understand, just call on this name, Jesus, and he will save you.
I realized I loved music when I was about 7 or 8. I used to puff my cheeks and play the 12-bar blues. Like I'd walk around the house doing like.
Why do we need the Holy Spirit?
I mean, if you look at what Jesus said when he was leaving, he said he is going and that he will send the Holy Spirit as our helper.
So God knows everything since the end, from the beginning, has a plan for your life. So to find that plan for your life, you must find God. When you find God, you will know the path for your life.
Do you need a dose of hope? If so, you are in the right place. We think of ourselves around here as hope dealers, delivering truth, power, and inspiration to hearts and minds all over the world. If nothing else has worked for you, why not give the God thing a try? For it's in the presence of God that you'll find everything that you need. Amen.
All right. Welcome back to the Morning Drift. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kianga. Thank you very much for still sticking around with us. There's a lot that we're looking at in this second part of our conversation with Owen Obonga this morning. It's essentially around the troubles around ODM. And just like Amos said, Owen, I want to take you back to what Amos said. He's spoken about a lot of issues, but of importance, he says, there is already a split that is happening in ODM, and you can see it. Sifuna, James Orengo, Simbarati, might not be speaking about it, but he supports Edwin Sifuna. And then the other side of the guys already in government, Joho, the likes of Atandi, the likes of Pio Andai, and the rest of them. Is it true that we, as onlookers, we can actually see the split in ODM, and that's what they're afraid to address?
Ideologically, yes, there's a split ideologically. Mm-hmm. But in terms of party being split, no. I'd say that for this very reason. The people that you've mentioned who are backing Sifuna currently, it's not that they are followers of Sifuna. They are protecting him to maintain his space at that his position as the SG for now. But do they have the tools of influence to be able to protect him past being removed from that seat? No, take an example of James Orengo. Recently, his own MCAs from his own county, all of them, were in State House, and they were pledging 2 terms to the president. So if Orengo himself cannot control his own backyard, and the president has a card to whip in line,
yes,
he will not be able to push through in as much as he'll desire. That's why we've seen him saying one statement, maybe harshly towards the government, the next day is in State House. And we are receiving those images, and it's also being televised for the citizens to see. So the group, as per now, is just giving temporal protection to the SG. But eventually, if he will not shape up, he will just be axed the way Ababu Namwamba was axed.
Yes.
Yes.
Even on the axing, it's been the second attempt, Owen, in a couple of weeks now. It's the second attempt. The board of trustees came in. They said, "Well, you can take out Odm Sifuna," and then he goes out and says, "You dare touch me." At the CMC meeting in Kilifi, there was a proposal again that was quelled almost immediately. That hey, you can't do that right now. And the reason they're giving, Owen, is that you do that right now, you will scaffold this party. Meaning, there is that split already. That you touch Sifuna, you're going to break up ODM. Is he untouchable currently as it is?
It is not that he's untouchable, but there's a lot of gambling with maintaining the party as one. We have also his friends, political friends, that are just waiting for such an occurrence or
yes,
a scenario to happen for them to maximize on it. You know, politicians are opportunists, and it begs the question if, as a party SG, the senior party officials are supporting something that you are not in support of. It only begs, or it's morally right,
yes,
for him to resign at least it to be dramatic as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And Kenyans are famous for enjoying such dramas, and everybody's just waiting. Will it be today, tomorrow? It is just a delay. It is just time delayed. But eventually, if he keeps up with the
yes, yes. Owen, I want you to hold your point right there, because I'm getting told that we need to sort out your microphone this morning, because there is another area again that I would want us to look at this morning, because the party leader himself has also come under threat, the split that we're talking about. Nobody's saying it. The only person who's come close to saying it, Owen, is Winnie Odinga, when they were at their Odm at 20 celebrations in Mombasa. She stood up and said, I do not think that the current party leaders understand this broad-based government negotiation that my father, Raila Amolo Odinga, signed with Ruto. That the only person who understood it was one Raila Amolo Odinga. She therefore, in front of all the party members, asked the party to go into an NDC. After going to an NDC, elect new party leaders who would drive the party into 2027 and post 2027. A public vote of no confidence for one, Oburu Odinga. But guess what? You would think that it's only Winnie Odinga who's thinking about it. It's not, because Oburu Odinga just last week came out and dared any party member who is questioning his appointment as the party leader to question that at the NDC. In fact, he said, the NDC is coming very soon. And when it comes, then you will stand and say that I'm not the rightful party leader. In fact, he even said, as it stands, I am the only one who can contest for elections through ODM. You see how it is now? It's not just Edwin Sifuna who's fighting the powers be, but within the party you can hear a lot of grumblings whether indeed Oburu Odinga can take the party into 2027. There's a split right there again. Are they afraid to say that Oburu Odinga might not be a strong party leader for ODM. I want you to clear your earlier point and then address this one for Oburu Odinga.
It is not that Oburu Odinga cannot be a strong party leader. The people who are claiming that he is not the right person for that position are also salivating for the same. It's just that there was not a proper procedure done for him to ascend to that position as the party leader.
Yes.
And it made it look like, being that you are the brother to the late Raila, now as a form of comforting him, you can still hold to the party and steer it for now. But he's also a very wise man. In the short period that he has taken over, we've seen that even his speeches are those speeches of unification.
That's it.
Another thing, when he speaks confidently that we'll have now an NDC coming soon, he has already gone to the ground and already started to look for delegates, and he feels now he's quite ready. So the question is, those people who are also challenging him at the NDC, are they ready? Because for Oburu, he's quite sure that he will still maintain the same position when he goes to NDC.
Yes.
Yes, so the other people should check themselves.
Pretty much. Over to Sifuna, because Oburu Odinga has spoken about it. He's actually told party members that Sifuna is going nowhere, that nobody should think of ousting Edwin Sifuna from that party. Do you think it's time he comes out and pronounces himself on Edwin Sifuna, a man who's speaking against the same thing that he's championing for? And number two, last year in December, actually no, late November, we were surprised with a big headline on our news where he came out and said, it's DP or nothing. He's a man who's already, it looked briefed. It looked like he knows exactly what ODM wants from UDA, as opposed to positioning ODM for better than a deputy president. I want you to attack that issue for Sifuna and then attack that issue for DP. Is that what might lead to a split? Why do you have a party leader who's telling you the best we can do as ODM is just get a deputy president?
Now, let us look at the current party leader before he ascended to that position. He was among the critics of Sifuna, who at one time was calling for his removal as the SG.
That's it.
And it was the late Raila who came to the defense of the SG then. If you remember the meeting that they did in Kakamega, where he said Sifuna speaks for the party and he should not be accosted for speaking also his mind, because ODM is a democratic space. Now we fast forward to current space, where now he's the party leader. Like I said, he's also a man of wisdom. He's just playing cautious. But you see, it does not arrest his earlier desires to have him out. So it is just playing nice, waiting for the right moment, and they will bite. They will sure bite.
Yes.
Yes, so Sifuna should be...
Are they afraid of an NDC right now? Do you think if ODM call for an NDC tomorrow, there will be fireworks within the party?
Fireworks is most definitely the most likely scenario to happen, because it is something that has a lot of interest. And we'll also see in that NDC, if possibly they put it, let's say even tomorrow,
yes,
there will be also some heavy government hand in it, just like was it the by-election in Mbere?
True that.
Yes. So the question is, those people who will try to want to oust Oburu through the NDC, will they have the muscle, will they have the delegates enough to be able to do that? And will they be also be in a position to accept the results as it may come? Or will also Oburu also accept the results of the NDC? So it is something that will be hotly contested. It will have a lot of drama in it, but eventually we know where the hammer will fall and who will still maintain the position of the party leader of ODM.
Yes. Oburu Odinga made a mistake when he came towards the end of last year and revealed that in case of a negotiation, which now the party has officially then given a green light to, beginning with UDA, that in case of any negotiation, that the only thing that ODM would want is vice president. Nothing more, nothing less. In fact, it was that clear. Is that a mistake from a party leader who is leading a party that is the oldest party currently, as among the oldest party currently, as it stands, a top party that is 20 years in running? Did he make a mistake, Colin, making that declaration that he's going to be a vice president or nothing else?
Yes, it was a mistake because he gave out his cards early, and that complicates things because we also have a person who is sitting as number 2 in that position currently.
Yes.
And he did sweat for him to, but he will not also lie low. And we recently heard what the president said, was it in Nyeri, when he referred to others as a certain group that I cannot leave you, the people who voted for me, for others that and term them wapumbavu. So you see, it's controversial, and also it is just too early. And in politics, it is not healthy to get your cards out early, because it gives also your competitors the ability to also plan around your plans, and they can outsmart you in it. So it wasn't smart.
That's it.
Yes.
Let's then look at the current affairs within ODM, and I will take you to a couple of comments here so that you can do a quick reaction to them before we continue. Then, here's what James Orengo is warning, that ODM, currently as it is at crossroads, and is warning against a UDA pact. This is what he's saying. He urges that the Kilifi CMC resolution risks pushing ODM back into a regional party and doing years of gain, right? And this is what he's saying as well. Is also, let me just read the entire statement so that we can react at it. He's saying that ODM is at a crossroads as Orengo warns against the UDA pact. In his warning, he says that ODM's plan to fast-track a pre-election coalition with UDA has triggered sharp internal debate, with Senior Governor James Orengo, who's a key figure, by the way, within ODM, saying that even if they go into this pact, all right, he urges that it risks pushing ODM back into a regional party and doing years of work to build a national outlook party for the past 20 years. He also says ODM is a national movement with a lot of ethnic outfits, weakening their national appeal. He says ODM must instead use the next 10 to 12 months to deliberately, all right, rebuild its national strength before considering any alliances. Orengo also cautions that the premature cooperation with Kenya Kwanza government puts the entire ODM party at risk. Do you agree?
I agree for various reasons. It will make the ODM party to be docile, and it won't be active or attractive to prospective candidates of various positions. We saw this for the first time in Malava ODM didn't produce a candidate to vie in that by-election.
Yes.
We also saw a young MCA just in the same Mumias, a ward in Mumias, who defected, left the ODM party and joined the DAP. We've also seen like the governor for Turkana during the by-election. He went ahead, he is elected under ODM, but he went ahead to support a UDA candidate in that by-election despite ODM having a candidate there.
Yes.
And these are just but signs that the decision that ODM made as a party to be able to give a helping hand to the government has also eaten on their side. And now it will also give alternatives to even those members to either defect on the government side or they defect to other opposition outfits. And that's why you see some of them speaking boldly and saying we need to rethink our strategy. So in that sense, if that pact is done hastily, it will also have some ramification to the party itself. And there's a possibility that its national appeal might also dwindle a little bit because of now defections pushed by the lack of an appealing look to the common mwananchi, because there are those people who saw ODM as the one fighting for their own personal rights. But right now, it is only looking at surviving. So it sees now that my interests are not being fought for, which other alternative is looking to fight for my interest? So that is putting ODM at a crossroad currently. So Renko is right.
Now let's look at exactly what's going on so that we look at this split that I was telling you about. Because this morning, as we open, ODM leaders in Kakamega now are calling for the party to include them in talks with UDA. And this is what they're saying. If you look at leaders drawn from the Orange Democratic Party, let me just read this full statement that they gave out yesterday. They're saying in Kakamega County are now calling for Western Kenya to be fully included in the ongoing negotiations that are aimed at presenting ODM and UDA as the best front to vie for government positions in a 2027. And this they're feeling, they're saying that especially, and this is a statement by that was led by also the Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Wycliffe Oparanya, was said that the strategies that will be put in place to ensure that the ODM older face that spoke of the Western region, the Coastal region, the Nyanza region is all included in these negotiations. Goes on to say, nobody should be locked out of these negotiations because they are all members of ODM. Are there fears that since now UDA is going into new negotiations, that even those who are seated in government might not be part of these negotiations, because all that it looks as if ODM is going to do is negotiate for positions? Are there jitters within ODM? Is that what we're seeing? This much talk within ODM? Are there guys who are afraid that you might be an ODM member, fine, but with the talks that are led by one Oburu Oginga Odinga, they might not have the same face as the talks that were led by one Raila Amolo Odinga? Is that why there's this split in ODM that even those who are in government, they're not so sure they're going to see the light of the day in 2027?
They're right to have fears because you see, politics is about betrayal and interest, and they're after securing their own interest as part of members of ODM.
Yes.
And it is not only the Western leaders that we've heard them say the same.
Yes.
Even when they were celebrating the birthday of the late Raila in Kilifi, we had the coastal leaders saying and mentioning Joho, that he should not be left out. So it is just a matter of these groups trying to secure their own interest and not to be left behind when such an opportunity happens. And that's why you see in the first talk and agreement, we had the likes of Oparanya coming in, Joho coming in, Beatrice, a school from Turkana also coming in. We had Mbadi and Wandai. So they're just also saying, look, we are here, we're also party members. When there is an opening, there's also a Western branch. Give us something.
That's it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. We have 2 minutes left for this conversation. I want to read 1 or 2 comments here so that you can actually get to respond to them as well. The reality is that ODM is going to die if they enter into an agreement with UDA. That UDA would like to take the superior position. In fact, conversations for collapsing ODM to be a party within UDA are not far. This is one from Kelly this morning. Do you agree with Kelly?
I don't agree in the sense that the collapsing talks would give the opposing side
Yes.
a narrative that, like we had said it before, that the ODM party is up for auction. You've seen it, so it has already been auctioned.
Yes.
So that is also a narrative that they will not want to pass out there.
Yes.
And equally, ODM as a party has a lot of membership in millions. And these millions will not take it lightly that they fold their party and join the UDA party. And they also have structures that have been put in place to help it run.
Yes.
If we look even at the previous election, we've seen even smaller parties like Ford Kenya. In as much as they have a small number, they didn't fold and they still managed to negotiate for something in government. So ODM as it is useful when it is there existing than when it is folded, because when it is folded, a lot of careers will have ended.
Yes.
So I don't think the politicians we know of today are willing to end their careers that easy.
That's it, pretty much. Guess what? I do have the likes of even Karoba John was saying that ODM is clean. The one-time week pro-people led by Sifuna, Orengo, and Babu Wino met last week in Nairobi. The two-time wing led by broker-based Oburu, Junet and Company is currently meeting in Vipingo. And that's why, according to Karoba John, Edwin Sifuna could not attend that particular CMC meeting. And that's the split that majority of us are looking at. Guess what? I'll call you back again because they're saying they're going to have an NDC. I don't know when, because they're not done with their grassroots elections. Once they're done with them, and should they call for that NDC, then we'll sit back and see how these fireworks then are going to go down. Whether Edwin Sifuna comes fighting with his company or he comes in and says, I support Oburu Odinga. Owen, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Taking back to the time that he joined us this morning and Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. We're not done because I'm coming back to show you exactly what is trending online this morning. Ndidi Nyoro is trending. I have to tell you exactly why it's trending. A lot of members of parliament have reacted to his news of slashing school fee in Karu constituency to just 500 shillings. 12,000 students are going to be beneficiaries of this move, plus more on your dailies this morning. Good morning. My name is Simbelaja Charles King. I guess see you in just a couple of seconds right here on Look Up TV.
taarifa zinapochipuka na kutufikia papa hapa kwenye makao makuu ya chumba cha habari cha runinga ya Lookup, kwenye taifa, kwenye serikali, kwenye bunge, tunajitosa hadi kwenye sauti ya wenyeji ili kupata tu maoni ya wenyeji kuhusu masuala haya yanayochipuka.
Maana hii kitu inaenda kuumiza Mkenya kwa tax.